Hey there guys, welcome back to another Sexy review. My name's Simon, and today we have the iPhone 6 Plus. So straight out of the box, you can see that this phone is pretty massive for iPhone standards. If you are used to doing everything with one hand, you can throw that right out the window. The iPhone 6 Plus should be considered a phablet by every meaning of the word. Coming in at 5.5 inches by 2.5 inches, I can just about wrap my hand around this comfortably. But people with smaller hands might not be able to do so. With that said, it is incredibly thin, and I mean really thin. It's 0.3 inches in depth. One thing to note is that all the buttons have had a shift around. I'd imagine to try and make everything a little bit more reachable. The vibrate is on the left with the volume buttons, whereas now the power and the standby button is on the right, flying solo. So this iPhone features the new A8 chipset, featuring a dual-core 1.4 GHz Cyclone CPU and a GX 6450 quad-core graphics chip. On paper, it seems the processor has only upgraded slightly, but during my testing, everything seemingly ran smoothly and had no hiccups. Games ran really smoothly as well, and it's nice to play on them on such a large and vibrant screen. Gaming phone potential. It also comes with iOS 8, which has recently received a patch to 8.1. So this phone comes with a few different models featuring different amounts of memory. Straight out the bat, you get your 16GB, then it's a leap right up to 64GB, and then the colossal jump of 128GB. It's a shame that there is no in between where 16GB isn't enough and 64GB was too much. 32GB was a good balance. Also, another disappointing fact is that it only comes with 1GB of RAM. Again, it sounds lackluster, and maybe Apple could have put more to make everything a little bit more smoother, but how smooth can you get when everything runs effectively? It certainly wouldn't have hurt for reassurance, however. The screen size and quality is great. They've really made the most of the space they have on this phone. It's pretty much as much of a screen as you can get. Apple have skipped the dodgy resolutions now and have actually gone back to the norm. It's a full HD 1080p screen with a whopping 5.5 inches worth of it, displaying at 401 ppi. That's great. It's a vibrant and sharp and fantastic screen. The viewing experience is great. The speaker does a good job as well at pushing out the sound, although I'd argue that it gets in the way with the palm whilst you're watching anything in landscape view. So if we learned anything so far, is that numbers doesn't seem to matter with Apple at all, unless you're talking about the cost. But let me draw your attention to the camera. Whilst I'm not a big fan of the fact that the camera sticks out at the back and looks like it could get chipped away by getting caught on something, even whilst in your pocket, it is still a stunning camera. The camera is only 8 megapixels. In fact, it has the exact same specifications as the iPhone 5S. However, it packs a few more features like image stabilization and better aperture, all thanks to the new sensor that comes for both the front and back cameras. Judge it for yourself for some of the pictures I've put in here. They haven't upgraded the megapixel for bragging rights, which is good, but instead given the original better and more stable functionality. One of the coolest things now is that you can record at 1080p at 60 frames per second on the back camera. That is cool. And the slow motion receives a boost as well, recording up to 240 frames per second. The front camera is still at 1.2 megapixels, but given everything I've just said, it performs just fine. So the question you're probably asking yourself is iPhone 6 Plus or iPhone 6? That in itself is a different question, and I don't envy you for. Right now, the prices on the iPhone 6 Plus are phenomenal. But if you're that much of a fan of the product and you've got stuff to trade in to use against it, then by all means go for it. It's perfect for an in-between product because you can't warrant the use of a tablet, but your phone just doesn't feel big enough to be an all-purpose job. Then go with the Plus. If you're on a little bit of a budget, albeit not much of a budget, want something smaller or just simply unsure, then go with the iPhone 6. You're not sacrificing anything apart from size. That's all from me, guys. Please by all means go to the website at www.webuy.com. You can see how much we buy them with cash, how much we trade them in for a voucher, or how much they simply cost. Or you can visit your local store to find out more information. Check back soon for another review.